All right, and we're back. We've been streaming for 9 hours, so I think this is going to be the last league of the day. So without further ado, let us spin the wheel and see the final deck we'll be playing today. Jeskai Ascendancy. All right. So Jeskai Ascendancy is the perfect deck for Moto because it takes approximately 10,000 clicks to win the game. So the basic idea is, with the enchantment Jeskai Ascendancy, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, untap those creatures, and you get to loot. So if you have Mana Dorks, in this case Sylvan Caryatid or Llanowar Loam Speaker, which turns one of your lands into a creature, every non-creature spell in your deck will trigger Jeskai Ascendancy, thus untapping these, which means if you have a spell that costs only 1 mana, then it's mana neutral with a single Mana Dork. That also means that if you have 2 Mana Dorks, every 1 mana spell is mana positive because you get to untap both of them. So you play lots and lots and lots of cheap cantrips and Glittering Wish to find the 4th copy of Ascendancy in the sideboard. Now, eventually what you'll do is you'll be chaining a bunch of spells together. Now, this is not actually infinite, because you don't actually have an infinite combo. You just have lots of cantrips that you can chain back to back to back. But the idea is that eventually your Llanowar Loam Speaker creatures will be gigantic, and you can just attack with the huge lands, with the many huge lands, and kill your opponent. Or you can unearth Fate Stitcher, which is effectively a Mana Dork because it will untap one of your lands and then every spell will untap Fate Stitcher, and so these Fate Stitchers can also win the game. So even if you start the turn with no creatures in play, you can start chaining stuff, Fate Stitcher, unearth back into the field, and then the Fate Stitcher has haste. Among the other cards that you can Glittering Wish for, we have Abrupt Decay, Expressive Iteration, Lavinia, Failure to Comply, which is bounces a spell, or from the graveyard you choose a card name, and until your next turn your opponent can't cast spells with the chosen name. So this is like an anti-combo card. We have Teferi Time Raveler. There are 2 copies of Wear Tear, and then of course the 4th Jeskai Ascendancy, and this deck is capable of playing Giganta as a companion. And then we have some other spells: Veil of Summer, Surge of Salvation, Silence. One of Repeal, of course the One Ring, why not? Underworld Breach to potentially start chaining many spells back to back after you've already started comboing, and then there's Silence to protect our turns. So that is how the deck works. So let us jump into the league. All right, we're on the play. Reveal Giganta. All right, we have 2 cantrips, but we cannot cast them because we don't have any creatures. And then we have 2 One Rings, and we have Glittering Wish. So we can Glittering Wish on turn 2 and potentially go find Jeskai Ascendancy, so this is potentially keepable. We are also on the play, but we do require to draw, we have to draw 3rd land and Jeskai Ascendancy, and then we have to find a Mana Dork on top of that. This is a lot of things to go right here. It's kind of a sketchy hand. I think I want a mulligan. All right, this is better. So let's put back Glittering Wish, and then we can go Misty Rainforest and fetch whatever we need. Our opponent is mulled to 5 cards. All right, fetch land, go. All right, I need to take this upkeep stop off. Overgrown Tomb. Is this going to be Yawgmoth again? Thoughtseize. Well, I wonder, would they take Wish or One Ring? I assume One Ring. Maybe Caryatid, because this is kind of the thing that enables both of these to be good. Yeah, they took Caryatid. All right, fetch. Let's go grab, we're missing red mana right now and white mana. So we need white mana for Glittering Wish. Okay. All right, well, let's cast Glittering Wish. And then, not sure what we're playing against. It's either Yogg or Jund. So probably just grab Jeskai Ascendancy, slam it next turn. Yeah, that seems fine. All right, what is our opponent playing? It also occurs to me this deck is really bad with Orcish Bowmasters in the format. Or rather, if our opponent has Orcish Bowmasters, it's really good against the deck. Elvish Reclaimer. So I'm guessing it's Jund Saga then, because of this. All right, Confluence, cast Jeskai Ascendancy. And then next turn, we're going to ring. They didn't grab red mana. So maybe they were just Golgari Saga deck. But then that doesn't make sense if they're not playing Wrenn and 6. All right, Bauble Trigger, fetch and response. We drew another ring. What are they going to cast at instant speed? Are they going to blow up Boseiju, the Ascendancy? Sure. Yes. All right, well, let's grab the island, I guess. And then we can just play ring, then draw with the ring, and play this tapped. All right, so these rings are going to overpower our opponent pretty fast on cards. So I assume there's some sort of like rogue land-centric Golgari deck. Maybe they're playing Coffers, maybe they're playing Urza Saga, Witherbloom Command. What were the modes on that? Chosen mode. Target creature gets -3/-1 and mill 3, get a land back. Are you forced to choose that as a mode? Target player mills 3, destroy target non-creature non-land. Target opponent loses 2. Yeah, so they had to choose that, I guess. Boseiju targeting the ring, which doesn't work. Sure. Get that. No. Ring is indestructible. All right. We take 1. All right, so let's draw 2 cards. All right, so at this point, we need to draw the maximum amount of cards to just try to get to Ascendancy, although neither of these can even tap yet. So let's go Monomorphose, blue and green. And we'll make green and blue. No, green and green. Maybe green and green. Yeah, green and blue. That's fine. All right. Cast Abundant Harvest to go find a non-land card. Glittering Wish. And then that lets us put Ascendancy into play, but it's better to just get our creatures into play now so we can Ascendancy next turn. So yeah, let's go Caryatid, then Loam Speaker. And then they only have 1 card in hand. They'll drop to 2 cards. I think it's fine. Maybe not. Okay, so they've shown Thoughtseize. Yeah, maybe I just silence them on their turn. Let's do that. Stop in your upkeep, cast Silence. Flash in Bowmasters. Fatal Push, Llanowar, Loam Speaker. Okay. Elvish Reclaimer's a 3/4. We'll take this and go to 12. And then don't know what the last card in their hand is. Ring Trigger, go down to 10. All right, so now let's just draw with the ring first before doing anything else. Orcish Bowmasters in response. Well, that is an issue. All right, so they get to ping us every time we draw a card. So we're going to take a lot of damage, but we're still alive. I guess we can ring again to get protection from this, but then we don't have the mana to do anything else. Yeah, okay, just yield to this. So let's see. The best move is to do what? Ring and then Glittering Wish for a thing that can kill this. Because I don't want to untap with 2 different semi-lethal creatures in play. So we're down 1 Ascendancy. That's fine. Okay, let's Glittering Wish, white and green. And then we need to get an answer to Bowmasters. So I guess let's grab Abrupt Decay. But we don't need an answer to it yet. So for now, let's just ring, keep the new ring, play Horizon Canopy, and then just pass the turn. No, I guess I can use Abundant Harvest with Sylvan Caryatid. Yeah, let's blue, do this. But now they can't target me. All right, and then Abundant Harvest, name non-land. All right, there's Jeskai Ascendancy for next turn. So the problem is, yeah, so Orcish Bowmasters is still in play. So we need to basically go Abrupt Decay, kill Bowmasters, resolve Ascendancy. So they just play a tap land, pass turn. All right, so let's play, so blue, red, green, cast Ascendancy. Oh no, back up. I don't need red, I need white. White, or rather, I need both. So white, blue, red, green, green. I'm gonna need black with Sylvan Caryatid, so let's do it that way. All right, so Ascendancy, and then do I still have to play the ring to not lose here? Let's say I Abrupt Decay, then I untap this, I have 4 mana, then what? Okay, so let's go black, green, Abrupt Decay here, draw a card with Jeskai Ascendancy's ability, yes. Discard Fate Stitcher. Then the Bowmasters triggers, but I don't care. That's fine. Untap, resolve Abrupt Decay. All right, now let's unearth Fate Stitcher, blue. Oh, it'd be nice if our opponent would just scoop at this point, but I guess they're not going to. All right, so untap this, tap for blue, cast Serum Visions. Yeah, let's just always yield to this, and always yield to this. Speed the turn up. Would I like to loot? Yes. Discard Caryatid. Resolve Serum Visions. Yeah, both of these are good on top. So let's put this on top, and let's put this on top. All right, untap this, use the ability, tap for red, tap for green, cast Monomorphose. All right, Ascendancy's abilities resolve. And let's loot. Let's put Silence into the graveyard, and then draw a card off of Monomorphose. Let's grab red and blue. All right, untap this, tap this for blue, cast this here. All right, let's discard Abundant Harvest, I guess. Yeah. And then tap this for green, then resolve Cerulean Wisps, untapping this, drawing a card. This doesn't have haste, so I don't want to do that yet. So let's untap this. Let's just always yield to this. Fate Stitcher ability, green or white, Glittering Wish. Yeah, I want to loot, discard Llanowar Loam Speaker, resolve Glittering Wish, use the ability. We're going to get cards back to their hand, so let's get to Fairy. All right, tap for white, untap this, cast a Fairy. Use the ability, discarding Misty, resolve to Fairy, bounce this token. All right, tap this guy down. He activates it in response. Go grab what? Saga, that's fine. So no, don't use the ability. Tap this for red, cast Underworld Breach, draw a card with Jeskai Ascendancy, discard a land, resolve Breach, and now I just need to make Fate Stitcher 13 power. All right, opponent has seen enough. Okay, so they're Golgari something or other. So let's put Veil of Summer in the deck. Let's put Surge in the deck. These have to be good against black cards. They do have Urza's Saga, but I don't think that alone is reason enough to bring in Enchantment Hate. And then what do I not want? A lot of their stuff can be done at instant speed, I guess. So silence is less good. Their stuff's also cheap, so let's get rid of one of the silences. Let's get rid of... will probably bring in Artifact Hate or Graveyard Hate, maybe Onboard Hate that prevents me from activating stuff. So I probably want to keep Repeal in. I can cut... Let's see. This might be overkill. Maybe Veil's enough. Yeah, let's cut that. Let's just keep Veil in. And then we can cut what else? Gaze, because we don't actually draw cards off of that. That is probably fine. All right, submit deck. Reveal Giganta. All right, well, we have Jeskai Ascendancy in hand. We don't have anything else, but we do have Jeskai Ascendancy in hand. I'm not throwing this back against the Thoughtseize deck, so sure. Like, they'll Thoughtseize, take Ascendancy, whatever. Then we just have to draw a creature. We can even target their own creatures to draw cards if we have to. All right, let's turn this off. Verdant Catacomb, fetch, Shock and Overgrown Tomb. Turn 1, Springleaf Drum, sure. All right, let's go fetch Temple Garden and then Abundant Growth for a non-land. Abundant Harvest, non-land. Another Jeskai Ascendancy. All right, that's nice. Nice redundancy in case they hand disrupt us. Elvish Reclaimer, which can now tap for that. And they're doing what? Tarmogoyf, okay. Well, it's probably better to draw a card off Cerulean Wisps than to do nothing. So let's just play Breeding Pool past the turn. Would you like to play 2 life? Yes. Pass the turn. And now we're going to take at least 2 from Goyf, if not more. All right, begin combat. That's fine. Sure, we'll take 2 from the Goyf, go to 13. And now what are they going to do? I would like for them to do something that lets me Veil in response. Witherbloom command. Target player mills 3 and you return a land from your graveyard. Target opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. All right, I guess I'm Veiling in response to that. All right, Witherbloom resolves. Goyf is now a 4/5. All right, another land. They fetch, they get a basic, then they play Reclaimer. Sure. All right, let's Cerulean Wisps this. All right, so they're going to go to what? 4 damage with Goyf, potentially more with the Reclaimers. We just have to jam Ascendancy into play. What do I have to be wary of land-wise? I guess they can fetch Bojuka Bog at instant speed to stop Breach or Fate Stitcher. So I do have to be aware of that. Haywire Might. All right. I do have another Ascendancy, but I'm going to take too much damage to just play that out normally. So they're down to 0 cards in hand, and they can activate Reclaimers if they want. They're sacking a land to go get what? Or they're just sacking a land to make their other Reclaimer. Yeah, so they're getting Urza's Saga, and they're making the other Reclaimer powerful enough to attack me for more damage. So take 8 and go to 5. Well, there's a creature, but now it can't block without dying. So, all right, let's just start off with Monomorphose. So red, white, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's make red and white. Another land. So now what can we do? We're just like dead on board to this stuff, right? That's the problem. What do I need to do here? Let's cast Serum Visions. No, let's cast Abundant Harvest, I suppose. Non-land. Yeah, problem is we can't play both of these creatures, so then what? We get 1 blocker for Goyf, and then we just die to attacking from both of these. All right, next game. I think I'm fine keeping this as is. Yeah, this all seems fine. Let's just keep that. I guess they have Springleaf Drum as well. So Springleaf Drum plus Saga is still not enough for me to want to bring in Wear Tear. So let's just keep this as is. All right, game 3 on the play. Reveal Giganta. All right, we only have 1 land, but we can Abundant for a 2nd land. And then we have Llanowar Loam Speaker into Jeskai Ascendancy if we can hit a 3rd land. Or if this doesn't die. It's kind of fragile, but I will keep. It has all the pieces that we need, basically. It's got 2 different dorks. It's got Jeskai Ascendancy. All right, so let's play that. Let's play Harvest. Get a land. Go. Verdant Catacombs. Crack. Shocking and Overgrown Tomb. And turn 1 Inquisition. I presume they'll just take Ascendancy. If not, they'll take Llanowar Loam Speaker to deny my turn 2 play. Either one's bad for us. They took Breach. I wouldn't have taken either. Maybe they think I can't win without Breach. I don't know. All right, land, cast Loam Speaker, pass the turn. If our Loam Speaker dies now, though, our hand's real bad. Yeah, Fatal Push, okay. Cracking their other land, Shocking and Overgrown Tomb, and then playing Shadow Spear, sure. All right, well, we can play Temple Garden, but we still can't actually play Ascendancy. So I think what I'm going to do is stop on their upkeep. Should I even do that? Stop on their upkeep to silence them? Like, what else can they do? They can play like a creature. That's not even that threatening. But the alternative is that I just do nothing. I just play this land tapped and pass the turn. And I'm not cracking Horizon Canopy. I really want a spell in my hand for when I eventually do get Ascendancy down though. So, okay, let's just play this tapped and pass. They did nothing. Maybe they're just waiting to flash in Bowmasters. Well, we still can't play that, so I think we just pass it back. End of turn, flash in Bowmasters. Yeah. All right. So we take 2, go to 16. Then what? They're still not doing anything, which means maybe another Bowmasters. Okay, geez. All right. Let's go get another land. Hopefully a blue land. It is a blue land. Good. All right, so now let's slam Ascendancy down. Red, white, blue. Another Bowmasters, sure. So what do we need to do? We need to draw certain cards. Like, we can discard these Fate Stitchers out of our hand. We can always, of course, play the One Ring, but I want to be able to go off the same turn I play the One Ring so that every card I draw, the Bowmasters are not shooting me. All right, down to 10. Tarmogoyf. All right. And they just have 1 mana up. Okay, so now I can cast Silence, and then they have to respond right away, and then put Fate Stitcher into the graveyard. All right, so let's do that. Let's cast Silence. Oh, but I don't want to... No, I guess I need to do that before I play the Ring and Fate Stitcher and all that. I can afford to take a little bit of damage off the Bowmasters. Oh, except the Bowmasters can shoot Fate Stitcher as well. Yikes. Okay, so the Bowmaster... So both of the Bowmasters trigger, and they can't shoot me, but they can shoot Fate Stitcher. And though the Fate Stitcher will get pumped by Jeskai Ascendancy, their triggers resolve first, and even if they didn't, they get 2 triggers for every one of mine. Maybe I'm just supposed to play the Ring and pass. All right, let's go with Gemstone Mines, and then play the Ring. Always yield. And then I will loot with this, even though I'm taking more damage. All right, let's put Fate Stitcher in the graveyard. Let me go to 8 off the Bowmasters. Then the Ring resolves. All right, I'm going to stop on my opponent's upkeep to silence them, I believe. All right, so draw with the Ring now is fine. I guess I don't want to. I guess I'll just do it on their turn. Yeah, that's fine. Proceed. I just need a way to get these Bowmasters off the field. They're really a problem. I have 1 repeal to get one of them off. All right, they're playing what now? Knight's Whisper, sure. Urza's Saga, that's also fine. All right, they can't hit me in combat. All right, draw with the Ring. Bowmaster triggers go on the stack, which is fine. They still can't shoot me, so they'll shoot their own stuff. All right, untap, take 1 with the Ring, go to 7. All right, so the very first thing I want to do is, if I unearth Fate Stitcher and then I silence, both of these trigger, but these can now shoot me. So the very first thing I want to do is repeal one of them, I think. Yeah, but that costs 3 mana. I guess if I Fate Stitcher first, they have to choose between shooting me and shooting Fate Stitcher. So let's go with... But then I'm losing my Gemstone Mines, which are my only sources of blue mana. All right, so I silence. I discard this other Fate Stitcher, then I reanimate both of them. The initial silence loots me a card, and I go to 5. That's probably the more mana-efficient play, though. Unless it's just Unearth Fate Stitcher first. All right, so Unearth Fate Stitcher, blue. Then tap this for white. Then untap this. Yes, use the ability. Then we cast, I guess, a repeal on... No, so if I repeal it, they just flash it back in, right? Yeah, so I have to cast Silence first. All right, so yes, I will loot. And then I will put the other Fate Stitcher in the graveyard. And then these Bowmasters go off. All right, they're targeting the Fate Stitcher. That's fine. Do they have yet another Bowmasters to respond? No, they don't. Okay. So that being the case, now let's float a mana. Let's untap this. Yes. And now let's unearth the other Fate Stitcher. Let's untap this one. And then let's repeal one of these. And this one. So these untap. Then I will loot. And I'll put a land that I can't come in untapped in the graveyard. Or maybe Lana or Loam Speaker. Yeah, Lana or Loam Speaker. And now at this point, they can just shoot me with the Bowmasters and put me to 5. All right, they can shoot this thing before I go off with it. That's pretty bad. All right, let's untap this before that happens. I don't have anything at instant speed, but that's okay, I guess. All right, repeal that back to your hand. And then let's float a white and... No, go back. All right, repeal this back to your hand, sir. I guess let's just yield to these. All right, no blue mana. So green, untap, cast Abundant Harvest, loot with Descendancy, put Sanctum in the graveyard. Bowmasters goes off, shoots us. Resolve Abundant Harvest, choose non-land. Okay, we have a blue mana. Let's float a blue. Let's untap that. Let's cast Cerulean Wisps here. And then I will loot. And we'll put that in the graveyard. I basically need to draw another ring or another way to answer Bowmasters right now. So let's float blue again. Let's untap this. Resolve the ability. Resolve this ability. Okay, Veil of Summer works. Unearth Fate Stitcher. and then green, blue, untap this, cast Veil. They get one more shot at us, and then they can't shoot us anymore. All right, blue, green, do this, do this. All right, let's draw with the ring. And we can start using the Fate Citrus to untap the ring, too, and just draw a trillion bajillion cards. Permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Sure. All right. We're still big enough to survive this. Okay, cast Monomorphose. Loot with Ascendancy. Discard this. Bowmaster goes off. Doesn't matter. Resolve Monomorphose. Get white and green. Untap this. I guess there's another Bowmaster trigger. Okay, untap this. Untap this. And then cast Serum Visions. We do have to kill them before we run out of the clock. Loot. Discard this card. Bowmaster's trigger. Yep. All right. Resolve Serum Visions. Put that on top. That on the bottom. All right, tap that down, cast Serum Visions, Ascendancy triggers, use the Ascendancy, discard this, Bowmaster trigger goes on the stack again, resolve Serum Visions, put Ring on top, Misty on the bottom, another Bowmaster trigger, tap this down, float a blue, untap this, and then cast Cerulean Wisps here, trigger, or this, float a blue. All right, and now we have 15 power. So now we can just attack them to death. Yeah, let's just attack them to death now. Swing, swing. All right, we got there. What a nail biter. On to round 2. The presence of Orcish Bowmasters really puts a damper on this deck, though. It just means that for 2 mana, your opponent can basically counter your strategy entirely, unless you have to get Bowmasters off the field in order to actually go off. So the only way around it is you need there's multiple combinations of cards you can use. You need the Ring to prevent your opponent from targeting you, or you need Surge of Salvation or Veil of Summer. And then in order to prevent your opponent from targeting your creatures with Orcish Bowmasters, you either need more Ascendants, you either need an equal or greater amount of Ascendancies than Bowmasters they control, or you need Salvation or Veil to make your creatures hexproof. All right, round 2 on the play. I will like to play, reveal Gigantha. Hand is great. We have turn 2 Monodork, turn 3 Ascendancy. Fantastic. Okay, so let's keep this. So, I guess I'm going to play Mana Confluence and put an Abundant Growth on it so that it doesn't keep hurting me. All right, then turn 2 Sanctum into Caryatid. Opponent cycles Street Wraith. All right, Living End, presumably. Misty Rainforest. Grief. Oh, that's rough. So now they can just Grief the Ascendancy out of our hand. Well, we're still going to play Caryatid on turn 2, but then we absolutely need to find another Ascendancy on time. All right, well, Sanctum, Caryatid. Oh, you know what? That was not correct. I should not have done that. What I should have done is Glittering Wished for Teferi. Do I have another out in my sideboard? I can grab Silence and I can silence them, but that's just so much worse. Oh, I need to turn this stop off. Oh, wait, no, I can't get Silence with Glittering Wish, so no, I cannot. What am I doing? I guess just cast the one ring, and then if they play Shardless, then the Grief doesn't make me discard. That seems fine. So yeah, let's play this. Let's fetch. Let's grab, I guess, Temple Garden at this point, untapped, and then play the ring. Cycling Architects of Will. I assume they're cycling to try to find Force of Negation, or they just are cycling because it's the only play we can make. So hey, may as well just cycle now. Oh, and they had Force. All right, so Living End. We lose our Monodork. They put a bunch of creatures back into play, including Grief. Oh, are they not going to Cascade this turn? Well, that's lucky. All right, well, so now let's Wish for Teferi. Use the ability, yes. Grab Teferi. Cast Teferi. White, blue, green. Trying to hit Force of Negation again, I assume. Cycling Street Wraith. All right, it resolved. Now we'll bounce our Abundant Growth. Pass the turn. All right, we're set up to do a lot better now, because now in order to get Teferi off the board, they have to have Brazen Borrower, and then they have to main phase the Borrower to bounce Teferi, although they could get to 5 mana and go bounce Shardless. All right, they just didn't have it. Unless they're holding up another Otawara. Plus, but we drew Ascendancy, so I think we're good. All right, so red, blue, white, cast Ascendancy. And then let's tap this for green, and let's Abundant Growth here. And then just always auto-yield to these. I would actually not like to loot. All right, Abundant Growth trigger. So now we can start going a bit nuts. So let's blue Serum Visions, use the ability, discard that, resolve Serum Visions. Let's put Silence on the bottom, Serum Visions on the top. Then let's cast Serum Visions again, resolve these, use the loot ability, discard Repeal, resolve Serum Visions, put Serum on top. Now let's put, Serum on top, and then Gaze on top. So like that. Then let's cast Serum Visions again. Loot, put that in the graveyard, draw a card off of Serum Visions, which should be Gaze. Keep both of these, so we're going to put that on top, then blue, cast Serum Visions. All right, opponent has seen enough. On to game 2. So, what do I want to put back in the deck? I guess Silence to keep them off of Cascade for a turn. Teferi in the sideboard is, you can get it off of Glittering Wish, but the problem is it's too slow, but I guess it's too slow on the draw anyway. So then the only other stuff is like Veil, just to counter. Veil counters Force and Grief, so we probably want that. And then we can do Gaze back, and what else? We need to cut 2 more cards. A Repeal is going to be terrible in this matchup, so let's cut that. I guess, let's see. If our opponent has... Would they board in Leyline of the Void? They might, but we can still answer that anyway. So let's cut that and that, and then what's our worst card here? Like one of the Monodorks, but we need the Monodorks. Maybe one of the Wisps, because if they're living ending us, then we can't actually have any creatures in play. All right, submit. Reveal Giganta. We have Ascendancy, Fate Stitcher, and a Cantrip, but we don't have any other interaction, but I think that's okay. We can Serum on turn 1 if they don't grief us, but even if they do grief us, they're going to take Ascendancy. All right, keep. Like, we have all the pieces, it's just slow. Opponent cycles Striped Riverwinder, passes the turn. All right, we drew Caryatid, that's good. So let's play Sanctum, Serum Visions. 2 more Serum Visions on top. Well, I guess that's fine. I probably don't want both of them. Let's put one on the bottom, one on the top. All right, so we're 1 turn too slow for the Cascade, but as long as we can resolve Ascendancy, we can then go off the next turn with Fate Stitcher. All right, so on the off chance that they do not Cascade, I think it's correct to play Grove here, play Caryatid. The only other thing would be to just hold up Veil of Summer to protect from like a grief or something, but if they don't Cascade here, it also lets us have Ascendancy and hold up Veil of Summer to protect that. Cycling Street Wraith. All right, so they have that, and are they just going to do it now or wait? I guess they're going to wait. All right, well, that being the case, let's try to jam Ascendancy and hold up Veil of Summer. So if I go Island, then I have blue, red, white with green, blue held up. All right, cast Ascendancy, blue, red, white. Cycle Architects of Will. So they do not have Violent Outburst, and they're just searching for Counterspell. Cycle Generosant, which doesn't do anything because it just finds a land. So I'm not sure what the deal there is. It resolved. Wow, I'm shocked. All right, let's cast Serum Visions. Always yield, always yield. Let's loot Fate Stitcher into the graveyard. All right. I guess let's put Fate Stitcher on top, Veil on bottom. All right, so unearth Fate Stitcher, untap this, and let's just untap Caryatid and silence them to make sure they can't respond to anything that we're doing. Yeah, and then let's cast Silence, just in case they have Force of Vigor or something, I guess. Loot away, let's discard this Fate Stitcher that we just drew. Excellent. Do we resolve Silence? Welcome to the Meritron Tree Derpa. We are currently combo killing Living End. So let's tap for blue, and then let's untap a land. And let's cast Serum Visions. All right, opponent has seen enough. On to round 3. How is this the deck that we're doing the best with today so far? All right, on the draw. All right, reveal Giganta. This window always opens up at a different size, no matter what. This hand has everything except it only has 1 land, which is a basic island. And then if we don't hit more lands off of Serum and Otherworldly Gaze, it sucks. I don't know. It has everything. If we can't find a land out of drawing, scrying 2, and using Otherworldly Gaze, yeah, I'm going to keep. We're also on the draw, which is a bit unfortunate as well, but I will keep this. Opponent mulls to 5. Valakut. All right, so we're playing Amulet or Scape Shift. All right, Island, let's cast Serum Visions. Bottom anything that's not a land. I need to put a pause on my own upkeep so that I can use Gaze to try to monofix. All right, so it's Amulet. All right, cast Gaze. So let's put this on the bottom, or this into the graveyard, this into the graveyard, and this on top. And then go to my main. Then we'll play this. We will fetch, and we have an equal amount of lands that tap for different colors, but we do have botanicals and whatnot, so it's probably best to grab... I guess I should grab Temple Garden in case I need to cast stuff from the hand here. I also have Monomorphos to fix anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, Temple Garden, pay it, and then we're going to cast Abundant Harvest and go get a land. All right, and we're set up for next turn. So next turn, we can go Stomping Ground, Ascendancy, and then we have to survive 1 more turn, which is not guaranteed against Amulet. Opponent chooses Nymph, casts a Dryad. Plays Vesuva to copy the Sanctuary to bounce Cavern back to hand. All right. So the next turn they can basically go land Cavern, make Primeval Titan uncounterable. Because I'm guessing they don't know what the heck we're playing. All right. So Stomping Ground, pay the mana, red, blue, white. So I presume their turn is just going to be land Titan, put 2 Valakuts into play, deal me 12, attack for 2, I go to 1. Is that how the math works out there? Each Valakut sees the other. It's 3 apiece, so that's 12. And then Dryad can attack for 2. Yeah, so I'm going to go to 1 unless they have ways to get more mana, like if they have an Amulet. Opponent definitely taking their time here. Valakut land, so they do not have the mana for Primeval Titan now. Karn, okay. Karn for what? Karn for Haywire Might, but they can't actually activate it? Why did not attack me? All right, well, they didn't attack me. So let us cast, I guess we're going to start off with Monomorphose. All right, yeah, green, red, cast Monomorphose, put these on the stack. Always yield, always yield. Loot, put Fate Stitcher in the graveyard, resolve Monomorphose, make green and white, unearth Fate Stitcher, untap this land, cast Silence, just to absolutely make sure they don't have anything. Loot, put a land in the graveyard, resolve Silence. All right, untapping. We need to Glittering Wish to get another untap. So let's tap for white. And then what do I need to untap with? What am I probably getting? I'm probably getting something cheap. So maybe Expressive Iteration. All right, so let's untap this. Let's cast Glittering Wish. All right, that's very helpful. So let's put that in the graveyard. Resolve the Glittering Wish. Use the ability. Let's grab Expressive Iteration. Now let's untap this mana. Then tap this to cast Cerulean Wisps. Loot, put that in the graveyard. Untap a island. Resolve Cerulean Wisps. All right, red, blue. Untap this. Cast Expressive. Looting this away because we don't need it. I guess we don't need more lands technically. Let's get rid of that. Resolve Expressive Iteration. Pick one of them into your hand. So let's put Serum Visions into the hand. And let's put one on the bottom. So that's the land. And then we'll exile the One Ring. All right, so untap this blue source, cast Serum Visions, loot, put, I guess this, resolve Serum Visions. Yikes, are we gonna fizzle here? Let's put both of these on the bottom. So the problem is if I cast Silence now, then I run into the issue of if I don't hit exactly another 1 mana spell or 2 mana spell, then I'm just fizzled completely. But if I pass the turn and then silence them on upkeep, that means I lose Fate Stitcher. So, And the Haywire Might can also just eat my Ascendancy. That's another problem. I don't have the mana to One Ring. Even if I did, I can't activate it. All right, let's just go for it. Let's just try to get there. All right, untap this. Silence. All right, we did hit a card. Let's discard Grove of the Burn Willows. Resolve Silence. Tap for green. Untap this. Actually, no. Yeah, okay. I should untap the island, but Abundant Harvest. Loot. Let's put Ring into the graveyard because we don't need it if we're going to cast this one. Then resolve this. Then choose non-land. All right. Cancel. Pick green. Untap this one again, I think. Then let's do Abundant Growth on this one. Resolve. Loot. All right. Let us put Misty in the graveyard. We need to draw another thing. Draw a card. Yikes. We actually bricked off of all that. I guess we can flashback Gaze, right? So do this. Flashback Gaze. Solve this. Loot with a card. Oh, we finally got there. We finally got to Fate Stitcher. But now it's after we already ran out of cards. So let's put... Alright, we can't cast anything. So I guess I can do what? I can untap a land, but then I can play Sylvan Caryatid. Or I can just attack Karn, and then they either lose their Karn or they have to chump with one of their creatures. Any one of which is good for me, I suppose. Or I should just put Sylvan Caryatid into play to set up the next turn, maybe. All right, let's put Gemstone into the graveyard. Let's put Repeal into the graveyard. And let's put Serum Visions on top. All right, now what? So, yeah, I guess just attack Karn. Or, yeah, attack Karn, and then we can unearth Fate Stitcher next turn, but then we still need more mana. It's probably actually better... Okay, so they have an active Karn. They can Karn again. They can also Karn for Graveyard Hate. Just any which way you slice it, none of that's going to be good. Can they Karn for Sundering Titan as well? That would also screw us over. Like, any of this is going to screw us over. All right, so let's play Confluence. Yeah, I guess we just have to set up for next turn as best we can. Play Caryatid, and then just pass the turn. And then the Unearth exiles, we don't get the ring anymore, and then we have to hope they don't kill us and that this is enough for next turn. By the way, if you ever get monetized on Twitch, I'd be happy to give you the Prime sub. I'm not using LMAO. Well, thank you. All right, minus Karn. What are they getting? I assume Graveyard Hate so that they can kill Fate's the Stone Brain. Haywire might get rid of Ascendancy. Yep. Stone Brain, and then they're going to Stone Brain us and name Ascendancy. That's rough. How do we win through that? I don't think we can. All right, let's just concede before they see our deck. All right, Amulet. We want Wear Tear in the main, but I think that's it. Surge is okay to counter like Beseiju or something, but we don't mostly want that main deck. So let's cut a Silence and let's cut... They mostly go off on their own turn, so unless we're cycling this to time skip them, it's not very good. And we can cut Gaze. Repeal can repeal what? An Amulet, but then they can just replay it. Repeal seems kind of bad. We might need it in main deck though just to deal with random Graveyard Hate or something. All right, let's submit that. On the play, reveal Giganta. All right, well, we've got Ascendancy, Ring, Monomorphose. It's slow as heck, but I think we can keep. All right, Misty, pass the turn. Cavernous Souls, naming Giant. Fetch, Breeding Pool. All right, well, I would rather cycle Monomorphose now and try to hit something. So let's pay 2 with this, and let's cast Monomorphose. And what are we naming? Let's name Green and White so that we can cast Glittering Wish and or any of our green creatures. The alternative is we name Blue, and which lets us cast cantrips. We have less of those. So maybe green and blue. And if I have Wish, I want to cast that too. What's my actual breakdown? I have a bunch of cantrips. So I have 8, 12. Yeah, 8, 12 here. There's less blue cards. So let's name green and white. Well, there's Glittering Wish. Use the Wish's ability? Yes. What do I grab? I put the Wear Tears in the main. So I can grab another Jeskai Ascendancy in case the first one gets destroyed. That seems reasonable. I can also grab Abrupt Decay to counter their stuff. I don't think that's very good. Let's just grab Ascendancy and pass the turn. Sanctuary, Bounce Cavern. Okay, so they have a slow hand. They probably have kept like Force of Vigor or something to try to interact with us. Do I just jam Ascendancy here, or do I play Monomorphose and then play a Dork? No, it's got to be better to just play Ascendancy, right? Red, white, blue. Maybe they just have a really slow hand. Urza's Saga now. So they must have just drawn that. Dryad, Cavern of Souls, name Giant again. All right, let's try to go off. So Monomorphose is at least even. So let's play that first. Ascendancy triggers, yield. Definitely want to loot. Oh, Wear Tear is so useful here. What am I pitching? One of the rings maybe? So I'm going to net mana back and then what? All right, let's pitch one of the rings. Then resolve this, and let's make, I guess I have all the colors right now, so what, green and white? Or blue and white? Green and white? If I don't find a land, if I find a land, I'm playing Ring. If I don't find a land, what am I playing? Ascendancy number 2 and get super blown out by Force of Vigor? No. If I don't find a land, then I'm just killing Dryad, probably. So I want to have white mana. So white and blue, I think. All right, did not find a land, but did find a thing that gets a land. So let's cast this. Loot. There's so many good things to get here. Maybe Glittering Wish can go. Yeah, all right. Glittering Wish. Resolve this. Go get a land. And then Cerulean Wisps the Dryad to draw a card. Looting. What sets up us best for next turn? I want to play this land. I want to keep Breach. I guess Serum Visions. All right. Discard Serum Visions. Resolve Wisps. Draw a card. All right. Well, now let's kill that. Loot, discarding, Botanical Sanctum, I guess. Resolve Wear or Tear, and then let's play Gemstone Mine and pass. All right, Saga goes up to 2 counters. Then they play a 5th land. All right, they're going to play Karn, which is unfortunate. And then I don't see why they wouldn't just like Karn for Might again. All right, they got Haywire Might. They're going to play Haywire Might. Can't activate it this turn. They're just going to pass it back. We still haven't drawn Fate Stitcher. This is really rough. Okay, what are we doing? I'm not going to play Breach yet. If I play Serum Visions and find Fate Stitcher, that's good. Or alternatively, I just run the second Jeskai Ascendancy out, and then we get more looks. Yeah, let's go with that. So let's go cast Ascendancy, red, white, blue. Loot. I can repeal that, but who cares? Ring is pretty useless right now with Karn in play. It's just 4 mana protection. All right, let's get rid of Ring. Resolve Ascendancy. And then let's cast Serum Visions, losing a Gemstone Mine. Oh, right, but I can't find Fate Stitcher if I don't have blue mana. All right, draw a card, get rid of... I don't need to get rid of a land. Or I don't need a land, so I can get rid of this land. All right, get rid of a land. Loot again. Discarding Repeal, probably. Yeah, discard Repeal. Resolve Serum Visions. Oh, geez, we finally got this. Okay, I think I actually need to top the ring in case we're almost dead next turn. So let's bottom the Caryatid and then top the ring, I suppose. Maybe that's bad. They have 4 cards going up to 5, an active Karn. They're going to probably use one of the mana to get rid of an Ascendancy, and then if they get rid of the other Ascendancy, that's a really big issue. Yeah, I just need to bottom this as well. Well, I can Abundant Harvest now, but there's no point because I can't do anything. So I guess let's just pass the turn. All right, Saga goes to 3, finds Amulet, and then they will probably have enough mana to go Titan, get Beseiju, and then they can potentially just Beseiju and Haywire Might both the Ascendancies off the board. Who knows? Let's see what happens. All right, Amulet, Karn minus, getting what? The 1 ring, sure. So the 1 ring means we can't kill them the same turn because even if we go off with Ascendancy, then we can't attack them to death, which is our method of actually killing them. So they're just going to pop Haywire Might right now, right? Yeah. All right, what are we doing? We can Breach, and then how much stuff do we have to get back? Let me pop my graveyard open. I want to kill Karn. So, we can Wear Tear this. No, we can't. Let's just Abundant Harvest for a non-land and see what happens. Or maybe Serum Vision first. Yeah, okay. Abundant Harvest. Let's keep blue out optional. So, Abundant Harvest. Loot. Don't need 2 of these. Resolve this. Non-land. What now? All right, let's cast Serum Visions. Loot. How have we not hit Fate Stitcher yet? Jeez. Discard 1 ring. Resolve Serum Visions. We cannot draw and play that. We can get Abundant Harvest. All right, let's bottom this, top this, and then just play Loam Speaker. We've gone through half our deck and not managed to find Fate Stitcher. So I'm pretty sure we just die now. They're going to draw so many cards with the 1 ring. It's crazy. It would be crazy if they didn't find Primeval Titan by this point. And then with Titan, they can just get Bounce Land Beseiju, and then Beseiju our Jeskai Ascendancy. Hello, welcome to the chat, Sean Rover. We're in game 3 of playing Jeskai Ascendancy against Amulet Titan, and we're probably losing this. Opponent has 8 cards in hand with a bunch of mana, Amulet, which means that if they have Primeval Titan, they can grab Titan, they can put Beseiju in their hand with a Bounce Land, and then Beseiju our Jeskai Ascendancy. We've gone through half our deck and did not manage to find a Fate Stitcher. And we didn't have a Mana Dork prior to getting Ascendancy in play. So I assume they're just going to give it haste, attack, and then put Beseiju in their hand. Yeah. Haste the Titan, attack, go get, like, Growth Chamber, Beseiju, bounce the Beseiju, and then Beseiju Ascendancy. They're grabbing Vesuva Growth Chamber and making those into... and making Vesuva into a Selesnya Sanctuary. So they're going to get 4 mana. Do they just have Force of Vigor? And so they're just going to hard cast Force of Vigor on Ascendancy? That would be one thing to do. All right, well, I'm not blocking. Summoner's Pact for Dryad, presumably? Yeah. So what? Then they're just going to play Dryad, play a land, trigger Valakut, shoot my Lano or Loam Speaker down? Yep. Valakut trigger, kill Loam Speaker. If that's all they're doing, then we're not out of it yet. Oh, they can also shoot us, right? Did they just shoot us? Grazer. Oh, so they're just going to kill us now. Okay. And then that's another Valakut, and then we take 6. All right. GG. How many more draws until we hit Fate Stitcher? All right, on to round 4. All right, we're on the play. Reveal Giganta. We have Mana Dorks and some cantrips to go find stuff. That's acceptable. I think we should be playing what? Misty Rainforest, and then if they play a 1 mana creature, we can Cerulean Wisps it to draw a card. Opponent molds the 6. All right, so Misty Rainforest, pass turn. Silent Clearing. So most likely Hammer Time, but there's a number of decks it could be. Okay, Hammer Time. Fetch, Breeding Pool. All right, we'll just play Loam Speaker. Would you like to play 2? Yes. All right, proceed, opponent. Opponent plays Inkmoth Nexus, Memnite, and then did nothing. So presumably they're going to flash stuff in end of turn. Maybe not, who knows. All right, we really need to draw another land, and we need to draw Ascendancy. So let's just, I guess, we can cycle some cards. So let's Monomorphose, and let's add blue and green. All right, let's tap for, all right, tap for white. Then Cerulean Wisps this. Another Monomorphose. I guess we'll cast that. Green and blue again. Still nothing. Okay, so we can Abundant Harvest to try to find it. And if we don't, just play land or Loam Speaker. Okay, so cast Abundant Harvest, choose non-land. We revealed another harvest. So we haven't played a land yet, so I guess we'll go tap Loam Speaker for green, cast Harvest, name a non-land. All right, well, we have a bunch of mana. Cast another Loam Speaker and pass the turn. Our opponent is definitely taking a long time to consider what they should do. So what can they possibly be choosing between? Like, okay, Shadow Spear, sure. If they attack, I'm not blocking. Like, you know, I don't die to one hammer. I die to two hammers regardless of whether I block. So there's a Saga. All right, opponent is attacking us. That's fine. All right, it shouldn't be hammer because otherwise they would have just activated Inkmoth Nexus. But it's still correct not to block, just in case they made a mistake and then flash hammer in anyway. Pithing Needle on, I don't even know what they would name. If they name Loam Speaker, I can't animate lands anymore, but that's fine. All right, so they named Loam Speaker, sure. I can still tap them for mana. Okay, I think the best bet here is just play One Ring. Yeah, seems good to me. We're far away from being able to actually go off, so let's just One Ring, draw a card. All right, fetch to go grab Island, I guess. Play another Loam Speaker and pass the turn. And now they can't kill us or damage us in any way, and we get to untap with Ring, draw more cards, and we have another Ring as well. So I think we're pretty good now, because we get to go up, we get to draw for turn, draw another 2 cards off the Ring, play another Ring, gain protection. Yeah, that's fine. And then untap with tons and tons of cards. And we have tons of mana as well. We have 7 mana. So basically all we have to do is just find Ascendancy now. If we draw another land, it's even possible that we could play Ring plus Fate Stitcher Hardcast. Pure Steel, okay. Take 1 damage from the Ring. All right, draw more cards. All right, so that's Glittering Wish, Ascendancy, and then we have 2 mana left. All right, so tap for white, tap for green. Actually, hang on, what am I doing here? So let's say I do that. That cost me 5, I only have 2 left, and then I don't have any spells to actually trigger the Ascendancy. I have Breach to trigger it, but then I untap all my creatures. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so white, green, Glittering Wish, use the ability, grab Ascendancy, then white, blue, or no, red, blue, cast Ascendancy, then cast Underworld Breach, put these on the stack, yield. Do I want to loot? Yes. Bin Botanical, resolve Breach. All right, so blue, oh, I should have pitched Fate Stitcher, whatever. Green, red, cast Cerulean Wisps, targeting one of these. Exile this, exile this, exile this. Done. Put these on the stack. Loot. Discard Fate Stitcher. Tap this for blue. Resolve Cerulean Wisps. All right, opponent has seen enough. So we're playing against Hammer, so we want Wear Tear, potentially Teferi. Teferi bounces Urza's Saga, but everything else is cheap, so it doesn't bounce that stuff. It also prevents them from flashing hammers at an instant speed. We don't want Surge Veil, Silence. Failure to Comply we don't want either, right? Yeah. Abrupt Decay is fine, I suppose. But we need something in the sideboard to go get. So maybe, yeah, Teferi main, and then let's cut Gaze, Silence. What do they bring in this matchup that's an instant speed? I guess like March of Otherworldly Light or something. Yeah, March of Otherworldly Light. Let's cut Gaze. I think we're good there. Repeal's fine here. All right, submit. Game 2 on the draw, reveal Gigantha. We have Fate Stitcher, 2 cantrips, the Ring. It's not great, but I think it's keepable. Keep. All right, opponent plays Snow Plains, Springleaf Drum, Ornithopter, Sigarda's Aid. All right, Island, Serum Visions. While we do want Fate Stitchers, we already have one. I probably want to bottom that and put Abundant Harvest on top so we can guarantee a land drop and go. All right, how dead are we? Or are we not dead? 2nd mana, Stoneforge Mystic, and then they can tap the Stoneforge with Drum to put Hammer on the Ornithopter, which means our turn 2 has to be spent just playing a chump blocker and not doing anything else. I don't know that there's a sequence that gets us out of this. We need to find like removal for Ornithopter, so I guess Repeal would do it. All right, so play this untapped, cast Monomorphose, and then what do I need to name? I need to name green for sure so I can play this chump blocker if necessary, and I need to name... We could draw Wear, which would mean red, or we could draw blue for Repeal. We have more Wears than Repeals, so we probably name red. All right, well, we didn't draw either, so we'll just play Loam Speaker as a chump blocker and then pass. Silent Clearing, 3 mana, casting March to kill our guy. Well, we're dead. Game 3. I think we stick with exactly the same thing. Submit. On the play, game 3. Reveal Gigantha. Well, we have a turn 3 guaranteed Ascendancy, but nothing else. I think I'm still keeping it. Ascendancy in hand makes any hand with it much better. You can't be too picky about the hands you have with this deck. There aren't like super incredible nut draws that you can have with it. Let's see, what do I want on top? Any kind of mono dork other than Fate Stitcher, because then it lets me have access to turn 3 Wish into an answer. Play Sanctum, cast Serum Visions. Yeah, well, both of these are good. So, I want to be able to fuse this, so I guess I'm putting this on top and then this on top. And then next turn it'll be play Llanowar Loam Speaker and then potentially fuse Wear Tear. Urza Saga, Ornithopter, Paradise Mantle, equip Paradise Mantle, and then do nothing. All right. Yeah, we're just gonna play Llanowar Loam Speaker. So yeah. Shock, cast Loam Speaker, go. Saga takes up to 2. Play another Ornithopter, Snow Plains, Springleaf Drum. All right. So, okay, now they're just going to activate this. So let's see. We can Glittering Wish for Ascendancy, but we can't play it. I would rather fuse the Wear Tear together. So I think what I want to do is, so they're going to end step make a Construct, and then I think we just kill that Construct and kill Urza Saga, and then probably stop them on their upkeep and silence them for the turn as well. That seems good. So let's play Island, and then go ahead. So now they'll make a Construct. Alternatively, I can like pick their mana off, but I don't think that's relevant. Wait, it didn't let me finish? I guess I have to put a stop on my own end step. Well, at this point then, I guess I can't die to these Constructs as fast. So let's fuse this, and let's target this and this. Red. Oh, we can't even do both. White, blue. All right, I was supposed to do that on my end step, but I did not. I failed to put a stop here. And I needed to also play a different land if I was going to silence them as well. At least it kind of delays them. They still have 2 mana, though. Pithing Needle on, I guess, Loam Speaker again, which doesn't matter. The 1 ring, all right. So they have a 6/6 Construct. All right, so if I just go Glittering Wish Ascendancy, I'm out of mana. Alternatively, I could maybe draw some off of this. So let's go. I guess I'm going to float a white, and then I'm going to Cerulean Wisps this. All right, we didn't hit it. So I think I need to take the guaranteed Ascendancy. So let's Glittering Wish. Let's grab Ascendancy. And then, you know what? It might actually be better to just silence on their upkeep so they can't do anything. And then we can untap with Ascendancy. Yeah, that's probably better. So let's... If we Abundant now, then we can't Ascendant. Then we have no guaranteed way to trigger Ascendancy next turn. So let's just play this tapped. And then let's pass it to their upkeep and cast Silence. So they do still get to just hit us for 6 or more. But... they'll just animate Ink Moth and then hit us for 7 and 1 poison. All right. Ooh, Teferi? Oh, that's so tempting. What do we lose to? We lose to, they just play Sigarda's Aid and have a hammer as well. So if they have exactly Aid Hammer, because the other thing to do is just Teferi bounce the token. What else can they have in their hand? They can have March of Otherworldly Light, and they have 3 mana, so they'd have to exile a card. Let's go with Ascendancy first. Blue, red. Cast Ascendancy. Abundant Harvest. Put these on the stack. Always yield. Always yield. Loot. We can't activate the 1 ring, but we can, not lose. But we need to have 3 mana for Teferi, so I think unfortunately we have to discard this. All right, discard that. Resolve Abundant Harvest. Choose non-land. All right, well, this is free basically. So blue Serum Visions. Loot. I have to have guaranteed Teferi, so let's discard that. Resolve Visions. We drew the 1 ring. Let's put this on the bottom, Glittering Wish on the top, and then let's play Mana Confluence, Teferi, resolve these. I do not want to loot, and then let's bounce the token. And then, what do we need? I guess if they go like Pure Steel, Hammer onto a guy, we have to block it, so let's just pass. Oh, I should have been making lands into creatures. Yeah, I should have been making lands into creatures. Then I would have a bunch more mana. I think, for some reason, I just tunnel visioned that out of my mind. Like, I kept thinking that because they needled this the last game, but this game they didn't. Yep. Does this untap the land? Target land you control becomes a 3/3. No, it doesn't. All right, things are going to get rough now. Oh man, that was such a screw up. So if I just turned my lands into creatures, then I would have been able to have all the mana I needed last turn. But since I didn't, now this turn, yeah. So they're going to hammer this, and then I'll have to block it. Oh no, they can just give it flying again? Right. Okay. Yeah, so I could have won that game, and I just screwed it up. If I just make lands into creatures with the Loam Speaker, then I just get more mana with each one, and then we can play the 1 ring. It's an unfortunate part of playing a whole bunch of decks that I'm not familiar with, is that I don't know all the lines and patterns. All right, hopefully we can at least go 3-2. All right, on the draw in the last game, reveal Giganta. We have no mana, so we'll mull that. Opponent mulls to 6, we mull to 6. All right, keep this. Bottoming, not sure. Let's bottom maybe Abundant Harvest or Monomorphose. Monomorphose is the least mana efficient. No, I guess it's mana neutral, right? Yeah. So let's bottom, let's bottom Abundant Harvest. All right, Blooming Marsh, probably Yawgmoth. All right, I guess let's just play Island and then hold up Gaze. Let's turn this off. Razorverge Thicket. Glittering Wish can find us Ascendancy, but we need to hit lands. So I think we put this into the graveyard, this into the graveyard, and then this on top. All right, and then Mana Confluence, play Loam Speaker. What deck plays Blooming Marsh and Razorverge Thicket? They had no play there either. Some kind of like Coco combo deck? 3 mana. Woe Strider. Okay, is this some kind of like Aristocrats deck then? Abzan Aristocrats? All right, well, we need to hit a land. So once green, pick land, and then play land, and we can Monomorphose. Actually, no, let's cancel that. Let's tap this for blue. Cerulean Wisp. All right, well, we're going to get a lot of Monomorphoses off here. Monomorphose, blue, red, green, and white. Another Monomorphose, green and white. We played a land this turn. All right, so let's just wish. Choose a multicolor card from outside the game. Picking Ascendancy. Pass turn. 4th land for our opponent. They fetch. Oh, this might be the Samwise deck. Would it be? All right, so I did call it correctly. It is a Coco deck. Samwise Bowmasters. So is this Abzan Foodristocats? Well, Bowmasters presents a pretty big problem for our ability to draw cards. Actually, no, it doesn't, because Ascendancy will buff this. So it only presents a problem until for however much life that we need. So let's go. All right, so, we need to be able to cast both of these, or alternatively, we can just play the ring. We can still lose with the ring if they find Cauldron Familiar, though. So let us go definitely Ascendancy first. So Ascendancy, red, blue, white. I'm going to be short on mana. I'll need to get Fate Stitcher back. Okay, so fetch. I have to fetch Shock to do this. It doesn't really matter. Let's grab Temple Garden, pay the 2, then cast Glittering Wish, then put these on the stack. Always yield to these triggers. I would like to loot, I guess, and then discard Fate Stitcher. Then Bowmasters will go off. So they're going to eat their token so they can just keep scrying. We don't have a 1 mana multicolor spell that we can get, do we? Use Wish's ability. We can grab Tear, but we can't tear anything other than our own Ascendancy, which is not going to work, obviously. What is this? The only way that has to be in the graveyard for us to cast. So we're 1 short. See ya, Tree Derpa. Hope you had fun. Well, what do we need to hold up? We're only going to have 1 mana to hold up. So I guess let's just grab... They're not going to have any enchantments. I guess we just grab Expressive Iteration for next turn. Or we just grab Abrupt Decay to kill Bowmasters for next turn. Because we can unearth Fate Stitcher on tap a land, but then we're boned. We have no more mana. So we just pass for now. So if our opponent finds Cauldron Familiar, we die. Fetches into what? They have 3 cards in hand. Shocks as well. So they need a bunch of mana for whatever it is they're playing. Company again. They found Skyclave and Grist. Okay, that's really bad. So they eat the Ascendancy, then they can Grist, kill our guy, and then we're taking 6 here. All right, so we're not gonna have the mana for Ascendancy, and even if we have the mana for Ascendancy and Abrupt Decay, we still lose. So we just 1 ring, 1 ring, trigger, and then this fetch land doesn't even work because we're gonna be forced to draw with the ring, I guess, presumably. And we'll go to 1. So the Bowmaster, this triggers the Bowmasters. They get a token. They can't do anything with the token other than scry with it, I guess. I need to play a land that is not a fetch land. So let's... All right, well, I guess we're playing this fetch land then. Or I guess, no, we're not even playing it. I may as well just hold it for loot fodder. Because the ring puts me to 1, so I can't even fetch with it. Yeah, all right. And we can still die to Cauldron Familiar. All right, now what? Plus Grist. They have 2 foods. Play Viscera Seer. They get another token. They have another Bowmasters in their graveyard that they can get back with Samwise. All right, so they just passed us. Then we take 1 damage from the ring. We can't even draw with it because Bowmasters kills us. We can't even draw with anything, actually. Okay, I guess we just play the ring again, but we can't even draw with it. And then we're in the exact same position next turn. So we play ring. We're pro everything. We can't draw with it. We untap. What can we even possibly do? Yeah, I don't see a way out of this. Let's just go to the next game. All right, they have a lot of interaction. They have Skyclave, Bowmasters to target us and our stuff, and they have Grist. So it's probably worth bringing in some amount of Veils and Surges. Between Orcish, Bowmasters, and Coco, they have a lot of instant speed interaction, so silence is probably not very good. We can cut this, repeal, and then bring all of this in. All right, so it looks like it's Abzan Food with the Sam Cat combo. Or maybe it would be better described as Coco Aristocrats with the food combo. All right, on the play. Reveal Giganta. We have one land and a redraw with Abundant Growth, and we can Serum Visions, but if we brick on the second land and we just have to go Serum Visions past the turn, it's pretty bad. How many cards are we seeing? We're seeing one card off the Abundant Growth, and then even if we don't draw land, we're seeing another card off the Serum Visions. How many lands is in this deck? 16. That's not good odds. What's small? One land, but we also have Abundant Harvest for the second land, so we can keep this. And then at this point, Breach is a bit premature, so we can probably put that back. We don't need Breach until we're well underway comboing. All right, Misty, Crack, probably Breeding Pool is the most relevant colors. Pay the 2, cast Abundant Harvest, find a land. We found Mana Confluence. All right, pass the turn. Delighted Halfling, go. All right, Botanical Sanctum. Is there any reason to play Monomorphose right now? I think regardless of what I draw, I'm going to 100% just play Llanowar Loam Speaker, so I guess there probably isn't. All right, play Llanowar Loam Speaker, pass. Opponent plays their second land. They have 3 mana. They did nothing, so they're probably just going to flash in Orcish Bowmasters. All right, well, we can play the Ring, which is probably just the best thing to do. Yeah, let's just play the Ring. So if they have Bowmasters, they'll flash it in now so that they can target us. Yeah, all right. And then when we draw with the Ring, the army gets bigger. Well, let's just do it anyway. All right, land number 3. They have Coco Mana now, which I assume is what they're going to do. Take 1 from the Ring. Well, Orcish Bowmasters is a really big problem. It's probably best to Ring and try to draw Ascendancy. Yeah, let's do that. And we did not. So since we didn't, is the best option to just play Fate Stitcher, like hardcast Fate Stitcher past the turn? We don't want to draw again because then this will die. So yeah, I guess I'm just hardcasting Fate Stitcher and pass the turn. Now opponent Coco's all manner of horrible things that they could find. Yep, they found Sam Woestrider. And so now I guess they're going to probably try to scry. They're sacking the goat to scry and see if they can find the cat. Crack a fetch land. Tapping for Skyclave. That's not too bad. It can take the Ring or it can take one of our guys. Okay, so it's just going to take Fate Stitcher. Sure. And now we can't Ring without having Bowmasters kill our Loam Speaker. All right, we cannot block. We're going to take a massive amount of damage, down to 3. And now we're at 2 with the Ring, so we can't even draw with it or else the Bowmasters kills us. So I guess what? We have to like cantrip, take 1 down to 1 and draw into exactly an answer for Bowmasters, but then we're in a position where we only have 5 mana after that because then we can't tap Confluence or Horizon Canopy. So what does our draw have to be? It has to like be exactly Monomorphose, find an answer that gets rid of Bowmasters, cast it, and then somehow be able to get into Ascendancy as well. I guess let's go for it. Green, Monomorphose. Get blue and, I don't know, white. Bowmasters trigger. We drew 1 ring. Okay, so we can survive for a turn. All right, we go to 1. Oh, wait, no, we can't because I don't have 4 mana. No, I do have 4 mana. Okay, so I have the 2 mana off the Morphos. So tap this, play the Ring. I have to keep this one. And then cast Serum Visions. Bottom both of these. All right. Actually, they can just sack their Bowmasters and get it back, right? Or do they return a historic card? Okay, no, they can't. So play Gemstone Mine and then pass the turn. Our next draw has to be exactly an answer to Bowmaster. And if they find another Bowmaster or cat, we lose. All right. Oh, Veil Summer. Okay, so I Veil. This trigger goes on the stack, and then I cast Monomorphose. This trigger goes on the stack. I Veil in response. All right, blue, green, cast Monomorphose. Green and still blue. Bowmaster, cast Veil. Another Bowmaster. All right, well, we're dead. Whew, that was rough. Ending 2-3 on the day, although if I hadn't been dumb and screwed up in one of the other matches, we could have been 3-2 on the day, which still wouldn't be great, but it would be better than 2-3. Well, we've been streaming for 11 and a half hours, so I think I'm going to call it here. It's currently 8:30 p.m. So if you showed up today, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you tomorrow for the next batch of leagues.